Today I want to talk about checking the boxes. Every single day you wake up, there is a list of important tasks that you need to fulfill in order to see some sort of progress. Now, whenever you're on a self-improvement journey, or if you're building a business, or if you're trying to, just make yourself better, I'm here to say that there's no such thing as quick results in this game. And why do I say that there's no such thing as quick results? I'm going to tell you right now. So the reason is that you're going to see incremental improvements over time. Now, even if you feel like maybe from one day to the next, you go to the gym or something, or you start running, or you start building that business, you're not going to have a six-pack the next day. You're not going to be a millionaire the next day. It's a compounding effect. And that's why I say you need to check the boxes. You need to basically just knock out those tasks, those routine tasks, even just boring tasks. Take out the trash, get up off your ass, go running, go to the gym, upload a YouTube video. That's something that, even I struggle with. And a lot of the times it's really just a struggle of discipline. And it's because a lot of us, we say we're going to do something. We say we're going to, go on some self-improvement thing. It's kind of like New Year's resolutions, right? Everyone has like New Year's resolutions at the start of the year, and they have this plan. Oh, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. I'm going to do it so consistently, right? And then they'll go to the gym maybe 1 week consistently, and they don't see any progress whatsoever. And then the next week, maybe they go like 2 or 3 times. And then all the way by week 3, they've already regressed back to where they were because they weren't checking the boxes. They weren't just having a good routine. A good routine, when you're focused on something, is a very powerful weapon. Uploading daily, right? Now, I don't upload daily on this channel, but I have other projects going on where I do upload daily. But being it like growing this channel, right, I'm going to have to upload more often or even daily if I want to see progress, right? I'm not going to upload a video, today, and then tomorrow I'm going to have like 1 million subscribers. That's not how it's going to work, right? I might get 20 extra subscribers this month. Maybe I'll get 30, 50, 100. Right? Maybe the next month I'll get 1,000 subscribers. Who knows, right? Who fucking knows? It just depends if the algorithm likes this video or my videos or whatever. So, a little tip. If you're having trouble getting started, getting moving, right? When you start something, do not go into analysis paralysis. So, analysis paralysis is when you basically overanalyze things, you overthink things, and you just continually plan and tweak, and you're trying to make everything be perfect before you take the action. And in reality, analysis paralysis is just like a cope. It really is just a cope, because you feel like you're making progress, right? You're researching, maybe you're reading a book, right? You want to start a business. Let's say you want to start a business, okay? And you were like, oh, I gotta learn business stuff. I have to learn this. I have to save up money. I have to do that. Guys, starting a business, you can start a business basically for free. Almost. You could sell your labor. You could start a business without needing everything to be perfect. Okay? This is something I had to learn. Like, for example, I don't really have like a good recording studio right now, so I'm just recording off my phone. I'm making these videos. If I was stuck, oh, I have to have the perfect microphone, I have to order a camera, I have to find a video editor, I need this and I need that, all of that would be cope. Okay, yes, would a better camera be nice? Would a better microphone be nice? Having a video editor, yeah, I think that would make these videos better. I think that more people would watch my videos. But the important thing is just doing it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to, all the stars don't need to line up for you to take action. You can start a business with barely any experience, because from my experience in life, the best way to gain experience is literally just by doing that thing. Not reading about it, not talking about it, not planning, doing it. Motion. The universe rewards motion. The universe does not reward planning, thinking, strategizing. Okay, all that stuff does matter, but if you don't, you can plan and you can strategize and you can research and learn, but that should all lead to you taking an action. You're taking an action, but you know, you can educate yourself. Yes, you can plan, you can strategize, but strategizing without action, you're just kind of living in this fake world inside of your head. You know, you're building like a fake empire. You know, you're fantasizing about becoming rich, but you still haven't started a business, right? You're still working some shitty 9-to-5 type job, right? You're fantasizing about sleeping with a beautiful girl, having a beautiful girlfriend or a wife, but you haven't gone out and talked to any girls. You haven't made any moves. You haven't gone up to a girl and tried to ask for her number. You see where I'm getting at? You can fantasize, you can talk about it, you can think about it, you can read about it, but until you actually do it, you're still a noob, right? You're still a noob until you start doing shit, okay? So you have to do stuff, you know what I mean? You got to do stuff. So that's all this really boils down to, is just being on top of your shit, being, you know, brave, taking risks, taking actions, even if everything doesn't line up, right? Now, there's certain things that you should not do if, you know, not everything is lined up, right? Don't take this with a grain of salt. There's an extreme to everything. You should think about certain things, and you should plan certain things, and you should research certain things before you end up doing them, because you could get yourself in either a lot of trouble, or you could fucking lose a lot of money or get yourself hurt or killed or whatever, right? You know, don't go try to fight an MMA fighter when you have no fighting experience, right? You know, work your way up to that. So just because you want to do it doesn't mean that you should do things sometimes. The next thing I want to go over is getting off your ass. You know, when you're stuck in a rut like that, when you're stuck in this like analysis paralysis, and you don't have a good routine, you're just kind of scrolling and you're watching TV or you're watching YouTube, every cell in your body is going to be screaming for comfort, and your limbs are going to feel heavy, right? You know you have to take action, but at the same time, your limbs are going to feel like extremely heavy, and you're going to feel heavy. You're going to feel like you just don't want to do it, right? But like I said, do a non-thinking action, right? If you're going to work out and you don't know what kind of workout to do, just put on your shoes and go outside, right? If you want to write a book, but you don't know what kind of book to write, you know, you're having you're not having enough ideas, just start typing in Notepad. You know, open up a journal and start writing some random shit. Just get started. Kickstart, right? And I say kickstart because sometimes, you know, you have a flame, right? You have this flame, and the fire inside of you is something that's going to push you forward. Your motivation and your willingness to do things, right? You could be extremely motivated to do something, and you feel this really deep fire and ambition inside of you, and then out of nowhere that fire can extinguish. It can randomly go out, right? And you'll find it really hard to get shit done because you don't have that fire anymore. You're just relying on pure willpower to get shit done, but you don't want to do anything because the fire is like energy. When you have energy, everything is easy. And taking action is easy when you have a fire in your belly. When you don't, it feels like you're pulling teeth. You feel fucking horrible. So, how do you get that? Don't wait for the fire, okay? Do not wait for that fire to come back. You want to start that fire back up. You know, bang flint together and create sparks until that fire reignites. So what do I mean by that? You know, you're trying to start a fire. At first, it's going to be very difficult, You want to keep banging that flint together until a spark starts that fire. Winners and people that want to take what's theirs, they do not wait for the fire to come back. They start the fire. They find a lighter and they reignite it. They do shit. Just do stuff to fucking bring it back. Even useless shit. You know, you want to get back into working out and you don't know what the fuck you're doing, just go do some fucking push-ups, right? Go do some sit-ups. You know, are the push-ups gonna make you look better? Are they gonna give you a six-pack? No, they're fucking not. But those push-ups can kickstart and get you out of that rut and get you to that point. You know, if you want to start a business, you know, go knock on some fucking doors. Get a client. Get someone to pay you. It's not that hard, okay? If you knock on enough doors, if you call enough phones, if you post enough shit on Facebook, if you tell enough people, you will find jobs. You will find stuff that people will pay you. Someone will pay you. And then you'll prove to yourself that you can make money, that you can create a business, okay? And on top of that, you know, if you're having trouble with women, you know, improve yourself, improve your looks. Go talk to more girls. Go interact with more women. You know, even in a friendly way. It doesn't have to, you don't have to be this fucking pickup artist, you know? Like, you could just get yourself out there, talk to some women. You don't have to ask them out. You could just simply be friendly and ask them how their day is, hold the door open for them, you know, strike up a conversation with a stranger out in public. And, you know, that could lead to you meeting an actual girl, right? You know, if you talk to enough strangers, you will make a friend or you will meet a girl that is into you, you know? So that's my advice for today, guys. Book a coaching call with me down below if you're stuck in a rut, or if you're looking to start your self-improvement journey and you need some guidance and you don't know where to start. I would highly recommend you book a coaching call with me down below. I'll see you guys on the other side. All right, peace.